A very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the NUS Biz E-Open House Live panel. In case you just joined us, we are now live at the atrium of our very own business building, the Mokhtar Riyadi building. And we are very excited to bring to you Be Bold, Be Agile, Be You at NUS Business School, where you will embark on a journey of self-discovery as well as to learn new skills to be career ready. Now, in case you are wondering why we are not wearing our masks, not to worry, because this video recording is in compliance with the IMDA Phase 3 guidelines, where it allows us to unmask ourselves with proper social distancing as well as keeping to a maximum capacity of 10 people. So we just finished our previous session on finance, analytics and operations, and now we will be answering any questions you have on our accountancy program. So my name is Macy, I'm a Year 4 accountancy student, and with me here today I have Miss Susan Sito, who is our Vice Dean of Undergraduate Studies. She is also a Senior Lecturer for Accountancy. Next we have Mr. Jermin Ong, who is the Head of Strategy and Planning for the Singapore Accountancy Commission. We have Mr. Eddie Phua, who is a Senior Manager from Biz Careers. And last but not least, Avi, a Year 4 accountancy student specializing in finance. So I remember back in 2017 when I was deciding which university and which program to apply for, I had so many questions, and I'm sure you guys have the same. So please feel free to ask all your questions in our Facebook Live comment section, and we will do our best to answer you as much as possible. So while we wait for the questions to roll in, let me just kick off the session by asking, what is accountancy? Maybe I will direct Miss Susan to answer.
Okay, so accountancy is basically a language of business, right, where we translate what happens in a business into numbers and into stories, and therefore the accountants are there to interpret and to also partner the businessmen to run the businesses together.
Alright, so with that, we can move on to our second question, which I think that many of you are wondering. So what are the career prospects of an accountancy degree, and how has technology affected this field? And maybe I can direct this question to Mr. Jermin.
Thank you. So in accountancy, actually there are many job roles. Most people will be familiar with the very basic job roles in doing financial accounting work or with audit. However, it's more than these job roles. In fact, in the skills framework for accountancy, we identified 43 job roles, and many of which are emerging job roles that will be required in the future economy. Okay. How will technology affect the accountancy sector? So as I mentioned earlier, that there are a lot of emerging job roles in accountancy, and a lot of that will thrive on the additional data that is coming out as companies digitalize. More data is there, there's more analysis work to be done. So there will be accounting work for accountants to analyze, okay, and make sense of the data to advise companies on how to improve their business performance. To touch on what are the new emerging areas, for example, we have risk management, we have financial forensics, we have business valuation, we have restructuring and diversity hub, as Singapore aspires to be a restructuring hub in the region. And last but not least, on this impact of technology on profession, we have often heard that people think that there will be a reduction in the number of accounting job roles, but in fact, I don't think that's really true. In fact, our data that the SAC has conducted annually for the past 2 years shows that the workforce in accountancy has been growing year on year. Okay, and in fact, many companies are still coming to us to tell us that they cannot find enough accounting talent to hire. So this to me is a good opportunity for people to consider taking on, embarking on accountancy career in the future economy.
Yes, I definitely agree, especially because now that I've actually gone through all my modules, I can tell that accountancy can really take you anywhere, and there are really many choices when thinking about your future career. So one question that was asked in previous sessions but not answered was, can you take a double degree in business and accounting?
There's, well, in NUS, right, the bachelor degree is so special, right? You have a bachelor in business administration, and it's an accountancy major that goes with it. So in that sense, it's a single degree, but we do have in NUS the double degree program where you can take Bachelor of Business Administration together with an accountancy major, and with it one other degree, for example a degree in law or degree in engineering for that matter. So in that sense, right, you can have a double degree, but you could be learning more than 2 things or 3 things for that matter.
Definitely agree. And a question that just came in by Dino: does NUS recognize professional qualifications such as CIMA UK? And if so, are there any module-wise exemptions for BBA or BBA accountancy based on it?
In terms of module exemptions, well, accountancy major graduates, all right, they will be exempted from the foundational modules of the the CA Singapore qualification, all right. And as for other qualification, then it works on a case-by-case basis. It depends on which qualification we are interested in, or rather you are interested in.
Right. And moving on to that, so you mentioned the Chartered Accountant qualification. So maybe I can ask, will I become a Chartered Accountant once I complete my accountancy degree in NUS? And maybe I can direct this to Jermaine.
Okay, so let's say if you graduate from NUS as a graduate from MUS in accountancy, okay, as Prof. Susan just mentioned, it's considered you have cleared the foundation exams. Then you can embark on what we call the Singapore Chartered Accountant qualification to do the professional program, where there are 5 modules to be cleared, and you will probably need to work with an accredited training provider such as an accounting firm for 3 years to accumulate the relevant years of experience before you can become a Chartered Accountant of Singapore.
Yes. And next question, so regarding internships, are internships compulsory for the accounting curriculum? And maybe I can direct this to Ms. Susan.
Yeah, so I will invite Mr. Eddie as well to answer this question. Well, from the curriculum standpoint, yes, internships are indeed, compulsory for accounting students, but there's much more about internships that Mr. Eddie can tell you about.
Well, we can start by saying that you just need to do one compulsory internship, and you can do it over 3 summers during a 4 years program, right? So the good thing about it is, you as accounting students, for internships you can do it in, I would say, any industries that you want to, right? And again, but of course, to qualify for that compulsory internship, what you need to do is, of course, do one in either the audit function, tax, accounting, or finance related functions, and that should cover a minimum of 8 weeks. Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's pretty easy, right? Just 8 weeks, and you have a lot more windows available for you to try other functional jobs.
Yes, of course, like what Mr. Eddie mentioned, right? You are able to also experience internships for a longer duration. For example, we have students who went on to 12 weeks or 16 weeks internship for a greater experience, all right? So there is a lot of flexibility in our curriculum.
And speaking of finance, another question would be, can I pursue a career in finance with an accountancy degree? And maybe I can ask this to Avi.
Yeah, so that's one of the beautiful things about, I think, our business degree in NUS here, where we are majoring in accounting, but we also have the opportunity to specialize in, all the other specializations that business has to offer. And for myself, I chose finance. So it's been really a great experience because I've actually done 2 or 3 internships, and many of them were in finance. So the first one was with Standard Chartered, like the banking industry, and the second one was more in the VC space. So definitely the accounting degree and the finance sector opens a lot of doors, and there's many opportunities for us to really take advantage of. Yeah.
Definitely. And now we have another question just coming in from Justin. Back to the Singapore Chartered Accountant qualification, is it a must to take the CA qualification before working as an accountant, or just having a degree in accountancy would allow me to do just the same but maybe a lower salary?
Okay, so I'll take this question. So to start accountancy, to embark on accountancy profession, you do not need to have any professional qualifications. Likewise, whether it's as a lawyer or a doctor, you can start working in your profession, okay? But it's strongly encouraged, okay, for somebody after the relevant years of working experience to pursue a professional qualification, such as the Chartered Accountant of Singapore qualification, because by the time you hit a manager or a more senior management role, there will be expectations from employers that you will require a professional qualification to do your job. And in addition, if you want to practice as a public accountant, to provide public accountancy services to companies and so on, you need to be registered, and to be registered with ACRA to provide such services, you need to be a Chartered Accountant of Singapore.
And just an add-on coming from Genario, is internship experiences counted into the 3 years prerequisite working experience to obtain the SCA?
Could you repeat the question?
Is internship experiences counted in the 3 years required to get the qualification?
Can you take this question instead?
Yeah, I will take this question. Internship experiences during school is unlikely to be counted for, because that is considered as just training when you are studying. So the 3 years is best to be taken right after you graduate and to be counted. So it's always good to pursue a career with at least an approved training organization who will also be supporting you through the CA Singapore studies as you pursue the qualification.
Right, and as a whole for the Chartered Accountant qualification, I feel that accounting is always ever changing, and that is why we always must continue to learn more about the differences and the improvements that are happening. And especially for me, that is exactly what I'm going to be doing when I graduate. So as a whole, maybe I can bring it back to NUS Business School. How does NUS Biz prepare us to stay relevant in the accounting field?
What do you think, students? Maybe we can ask Avi to start off.
I think the great thing about NUS Business School is that I think the school has really organized a lot of things for us to make sure that we always are keeping abreast with the latest technology and the latest things going on. So even just like the last 3-4 years here, there's always been a lot of career talks, a lot of seminars, a lot of things organized by career services, especially Eddie here. So we really there's always new things to learn, and I think every time some new things comes out in the industry, we always manage to get those industry leaders and there's talks and stuff to kind of help us really prepare us for what's out there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, maybe I can just add on to that. From a career standpoint, I guess what the Biz Careers is doing for you, again, from the very start, we have our 4 years successful map for our students, which takes you from learning the career skills that you need, even from year one, where we have 5 starter workshops to take you through how do you customize a resume, how do you age your interview, your personal branding, networking skills to broaden your professional network, and of course your personal branding, which is so important nowadays. And going through that is basically the theoretical part of it. But when it comes to year 2, that's where you embark on more clinics where we let you practice with career advisors on your interviewing skills. And again, that's so crucial when you try to get through to the hiring process. Yep. So soft skills are pretty much important as well. So that's where we will actually prepare you for that.
Yeah, so to add on with what Eddie has mentioned, right, from the curriculum standpoint and from the school standpoint, we can assure our students that, we prepare the students and we walk the journey with you, not only through your career, not only through your internships, but we take care of our students from day one when they enter our doors, and we make sure that, they can settle in through our very exciting freshman orientation program, and they can find their friends. They can all, grow together through the, through the programs that they take, and through the lessons that they take. And of course, last but not least, faculties like myself who will pace you through from your year 1 to your graduating year.
And Avi, what about our Biz Accountancy Network?
Oh, yes. So yes, when I was in year 2, I was the director of the Biz Accountancy Network, which also helps to organize many events and networking sessions, as well as information sessions and pen discussions such as this one that kind of make sure that the students really have a good idea of what's going on out there. And then I think that really helps us to prepare for what it's like after graduation as well.
Yes, and for the Biz Accountancy Network, they work with faculties like myself as well to get their events going, and they are always in a consultative mode as well together with us. We work hand in hand, students and faculties, as well as administrators like Eddie.
Yeah.
Alright, so you can see there's so much collaboration here, and just a small thing from me, I remember when in year 2 when I was struggling with which internship I should go for, I consulted Eddie, and he actually gave me very good sound advice and no opinions whatsoever, and I really, really appreciated that. So you also have a very strong support system here. So I also have another question from Elay. Is the NUS Accountancy degree recognized internationally? Also, is it possible to attain SCA qualification by taking a job while studying in NUS?
Okay, I will take this question. All right, so in terms of international recognition, we are recognized in terms of ranking, that's one. Well, we also have international students who flew across the globe to pursue our program. So in that sense, we are internationally recognized, and we are attractive to international students. And the next question is about getting a job, or rather working a job while studying at the same time. While we recognize that it is possible, it can actually be very challenging, and we will work with you on a case-by-case basis and advise you what to do if you happen to be one of those who walk through our doors.
And another question from Kirira. May I know how do I make sure that I am a better fit for accountancy rather than business? So I think it's a good question to ask Avi. Maybe what were you thinking, or what made you decide accountancy over business?
I think for me, I think one of the reasons I actually chose NUS Accountancy in the first place is that you don't really have to make a choice, because you can come in to take accountancy, and if you feel like you want to take on business specializations as well, you're very free to do so. And there's, you don't need to apply for any, special requirements or overload extra modules or graduate later. It's just part of the curriculum. So for me, I was very interested in finance. I felt like accounting is like the language of business, and then like with finance, I can take the language and the information that we use and apply to other fields and other industries as well. But other students may prefer marketing, supply chain, data analytics as well. And even if you don't prefer any of those and you just want to use your extra MCs to take on other outside of business, other faculties, or other modules, it's all fine. And so I guess the key thing is just trying out everything and then figuring out what you like and then focusing on that as well. Yeah.
Well, what I would say is, from the curriculum standpoint and from the student standpoint, you don't really quite have to worry. It's because, as I mentioned earlier, you will be, if you enter our doors, you'll be studying a Bachelor of Business Administration and in accountancy major. And on top of it, like people like Avi as well as Macy, they are also specializing in some other areas, and they have chosen finance. You could have chosen some other specializations such as entrepreneurship, such as data analytics, right? So there are a few or many specializations that you can pursue, and in that sense, you are really multitasking, and I would say, right, pursuing multidisciplinary studies in that sense, where business is concerned.
Yes, I have friends who are specializing in finance and even business analytics, something that will complement their degree for accounting. Now, unfortunately, we have come to the end of our session, but not to worry, because we have our very last session coming up in 10 minutes on marketing and human capital management. So if you are interested to learn more, please feel free to tune in. Otherwise, you can actually find more information on our website regarding more FAQs, as well as more details on our curriculum. And if you have more questions, you can still feel free to jot it down in our Facebook Live comment section or even email us. Last but not least, all these video recordings will be uploaded to our open house website, and in case you miss any details, you can revisit them if you like. So I'm Macy, and together with the panel I have here with me today, thank you so much for joining us.